For God giveth to a man that is good in his sight wisdom.
Is that you reading, Kizzy?
Uncle William, it was only a trick. Kizzy and I are making up this joke to play on Mammy Belle. We're gonna make her think Kizzy knows how to read. Her eyes will just pop out of her head.
I forbid it.
Well, whatever you say, Uncle William, but it was only a trick.
I'm not blaming you, darling. Miss Anne has been gone for a good while and doesn't understand the importance of such things. I'm surprised at you, Kizzy. You really want to play a cruel joke like that? On a fine woman like your own mama, Mammy Belle? You get dressed as soon as you can, darling. I've got a special present for you. You finish unpacking Miss Anne's things. And no more tricks.
Yes, sir, massa.
Mammy Belle is as true and loyal a woman as the Almighty ever let draw breath. You come along as soon as you can. Belle, Toby, this plantation here is home. It's home for all of us. All being part of the same family, almost. Negro as well as white. Members of a family have responsibilities. They have to keep the rules. Otherwise, it would be impossible for us to live together in peace. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If any of you break the rules, my rules, I have no choice but to remove the offender for the good of all the rest of us. Yes, I could forgive the transgressor, but it would be like leaving a rotten piece of fruit in a barrel to spoil everything around it. It's not fair. You come. To show you this. This is a traveling pass. Noah confessed it was forged for him. By Kizzy. It's a copy of one Miss Anne gave her. All right. Noah's been sold off, what's left of him. And Kizzy?
Oh, God, no. No, massa, you can't sell Kizzy too. No, massa, not my baby, not my child. Oh, massa, no, not my child, not my baby. Massa,
Yeah.
Massa, beat her. Do anything you want to her. Anything, massa. Tear the skin off her worthless hide. She an awful nigger to do such a thing, massa. Please, massa, in the name of Jesus, have mercy. Me and Toby, we give you our lives, massa. Massa. 40 years, massa. 40 years I serve you. Don't that count myself?
Well, you were doing your job. She disobeyed the rules. She has to suffer the consequences. That's all there is to it.
Massa, please. Please, massa. Massa, I beg you, please. Don't sell her. Please, massa.
She's already been sold.
Oh, then, Master, please sell me and Belle with her. But don't split up the family, Master. You ain't never been that kind of man. Please, Master.
Mr. Tom Moore owns Kizzy now. Mr. Odell will take her away today.
Massa.
No, I don't want to go.
God, my baby.
No. Look, William. Little Mammy Belle. Oh, no.
Your people ain't nothing. That's what they told me. Till I found out that my true race ain't black. I am a Hebrew according to the Bible. And now that I know, I ain't bowing down to no idol. All of this time and all of my life, I've been told lies, they corrupted my mind. They corrupted my mind. I am awake and can't nobody
The world is different now. That's for sure. Here I am ordering food outside of a KFC Taco Bell instead of being treated with decency like every other human being should be. This pandemic has turned the world around for the worse. On top of that, being gangstalked, persecuted, and dehumanized by the satanic elite. Shaking my head. The 12 tribes of Israel have been gangstalked since birth. Since the very start. Let me give you a little bit of background on how we're being gangstalked still to this day and tortured. Location, Aztec Empire, February 1519. The Spanish conquest of the Aztec Empire, also known as the conquest of Mexico or the Spanish-Aztec War, was one of the primary events in the Spanish colonization of the Americas. There are multiple 16th century narratives of the events by Spanish conquistors, their indigenous allies, and the defeated Aztecs. February 1519. So-called Mexicans, the Israelites, being persecuted since birth, since the start, colonization of the Spanish. My second thing here is going to be with the Native American War. Now, this location happened in this country, which they are indigenous to, from the year 1609, and it did not end until 1924. That is over 300 years. The American Indian War was also known as the American Frontier War, or also known as the Indian Wars, which were fought by European governments and colonists, later by the United States and the Canadian governments, and the American and Canadian settlers against various American Indian and the First Nation tribes. These conflicts occurred in North America from the time of the earliest colonial settlements in the 17th century until the early 20th century, over 300 years of death and destruction from Esau, who is the leader of the Gangstalking program. Absolutely deplorable, to say the least. Now tell me that's not an example of being gangstalked from birth. And the Hebrews, the Atlantic slave trade, transatlantic slave trade, or the Euro-American slave trade, involved the transportation by slave traders of various enslaved Hebrew people, mainly to the Americas. The slave trade regularly used a triangular trade route in its middle passage and existed from the 16th to the 19th century. Also, another fact is that 12 million to 12.8 million Hebrews were shipped across the Atlantic over a span of over 400 years. Over 400 years, another example of the Hebrews. Over 12 million lives changed forever. The largest massive movement or change of geographical location known to man on Earth that has ever occurred. Just think about all the sons, daughters, uncles, grandmas, little children's lives who were destroyed when these settlers, these colonists came and took them against their will. And that's why I'm exposing this. Being gang-stalked since birth. That's a true example of being gang-stalked. I rest my case.
Yes, the involvement of violence in black folks comes from that long history that the president was talking about, that we have to remember that we learned from some of the best. There some white boys came over here that did the first beheadings in Point Coupee, Louisiana, where I'm from. Slave insurrection, that was the way you dealt with it. Tuskegee syphilis incident. We're going to see how black men die if they have syphilis, but we pretend we treat them with penicillin, and we're just going to watch the pathology of how they die. Now, that wasn't back 200 years ago. That was 1930 to 1974. We were talking about giving these wonderful blankets to Native Americans infected with smallpox as they walked on that trail of tears just to see how they die and to eliminate their population so we can take all of that land. So the violence that is in America has come from a very learned position that was brought here by some Caucasian folks. All right? So now, when it comes to the NFL, you have black men who are taking advantage of this opportunity to go there. So for every 1, 2, or 3 that may have been in the news because of violence, there are another 2,000 that report themselves as gentlemen, as husbands, as fathers, and as great professionals. So we must remember them also. Okay. So, but you know, but yes, people are responding to that. They see that image of that black man. You know, one of the MacArthur Foundation fellows that just won is a psychologist, Jennifer Eberhardt from Stanford, who deals with racial messaging and inequalities that people it's either learned or subconscious. That when you see me in a certain situation, you think violence. If they see you in a certain situation, people don't see violence. So the image of the black man being violent has been perpetuated for a long time.
A rebuttal from...
I'm Margaret Sanger.
Margaret Sanger is the founder of Planned Parenthood.
Hello.
In the mid-1920s, Margaret Sanger spoke to a group that came to hear her in full regalia.
Eugenics means the release and cultivation of the better racial elements in our society, and the gradual suppression, elimination, and eventual extirpation of defective stocks, those human weeds which threaten the blooming of the finest flowers of American civilization. The most merciful thing that a large family does to one of its infant members is to kill it.
By Sanger's time, techniques of racial elimination like lynching had become taboo within the Democratic Party. And so Sanger pioneered a different approach to bring about a similar result. How would you describe Margaret Sanger's so-called Negro Project?
The Negro Project was to bring these birth control and other eugenic measures into...
Almost 17 million unborn black babies have been murdered by that organization. I think that's something that we should really be concerned about. The fact that the United States government gives $568.7 million to an organization that was founded by a white supremacist, a racist, a person that spoke at Klan rallies, that referred to blacks as undesirables and weeds, I would join forces with you in a heartbeat to say that we need to cut off funding to an organization like that called Planned Parenthood.
And when the Most High comes back, all you will pay for the iniquity that y'all did. All this innocent bloodshed. Y'all fed babies to alligators. Y'all raped women. Y'all killed the elderly. Y'all think this is funny? Y'all think this is a game?
What are you actually achieving right now?
What am I actually achieving? I'm waking my people up. That's right. That's what I'm achieving. Because I want my people to get prepared and pray. So when the Most High comes back, we don't get destroyed with the rest of you.
That's right.
Because all that hate in your heart that you have towards us, your people have towards us, y'all wake up just to hate other people, you're going to die because of that hate.
That's right.
You think you'll ever see the gates of heaven? Never. Because you got hate in your heart. All of you have hate in your heart. Y'all will never love us, man. And that's a fact. Y'all will
get some order and some sense about you, man. Right? You see what the hell is going on in this world? And you still acting stupid? It's high time for you to wake up to what's going on. Let me tell you something. Nick Cannon went on a damn show and said you were the Jews. And they came against this man like they came against R. Kelly.
Right.
For saying that you are a Jew. That's letting you know what the biggest threat. R. Kelly had to rape girls for 30 years before they came against him like this.
That's right.
Nick Cannon says a couple sentences, and they try to crucify that man. Right. That shows you how powerful this information is.
That's right.
That shows you that there is nothing in this world that is more important information than you, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, than that you are the Israelites that the Bible is speaking about.
That's right.
And instead, you're going around here acting sottish, acting stupid, acting a fool. Right. But that's how we know you're the Israelites. Because it told us this is how you be from the top up.
Says, why don't you expose the Catholics or the Jews or whatever? Of course, there's evil in all these things. But, you know, it's like so much evil in so little time, you know, that you've got to do here. You know, Henry Kissinger called up a columnist for the New York Post. This was about 2 months ago. And he said, I would like for something to be on the front page of your newspaper, a quote from me. She said, okay. Betsy, whatever her name is, you can get the New York Post.
Sure, I saw it.
And he said, in 10 years, Israel will not exist. That's all. That's all he wanted to say. But he wanted to tell the whole world. Because in the Jewish Kabbalah and Talmud, you tell people what you're going to do before you do it. If you're going to murder somebody, you tell them beforehand.
Well, that's like Indians counting coup.
Yeah, that relieves you of the guilt of doing it, according to this theory. So he's saying in 10 years there will be no Israel. What does that mean?
Show me, go pick my cottons that way. What the hell?
Tribes of Israel, the Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Dominicans, Panamanians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Mexican and North American Indians. We love our people and we hate our enemies. And you ain't no damn Jew. Atah lo Yehudi, Atah lo Jacob, Atah Shatan, Yorash Kaleb, Edomi Kaleb, Shatan Kaleb. You ain't no Jew.
Okay.
You're the devil that the Bible speaks of.
They're gonna find us out.
You know what? You're gonna ask anything. What? Go ahead.
All right, you said before that God is black? Yeah, that's in Daniel 7 verse 9. It says that God's hair was woolly and black people got woolly hair. In Revelations, the 1st chapter, the 14th verse, it says Christ, his hair was white like wool. Blacks got woolly. Then it says Christ looked so dark, he looked like brass, which is a derivative of brown, as if he burnt in the furnace. And if you burn anything in the furnace, it gets dark. Ezekiel 1 verse 7 states the angels are black. Jeremiah 14:2 states the Jews are black.
Shala, we're not going to have a Bible lesson right this minute, but you got that. But what is your point, sir?
God. There is one God, the God of the Israelites. And he is a stern and vengeful God. And we have been mocking him far too long. And now he demands retribution in blood. It is time to declare yourselves. Take sides, the saved and the damned. Read the good book. It calls for expiation. Blood. What? Blood. Little Normie was first, and now God calls the rest of us. The bill is due. It must be paid.
If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
There is one God.
What do these people know that we don't know? Why are they buying bunkers? Why now? Why are billionaires preparing for an apocalypse? Doctors, lawyers, corporate business owners, all of them. Why are they preparing for an apocalypse? They know something that we don't know, obviously, because all of them, all of them, are dishing out hundreds of thousands of dollars for these bunkers. They definitely know something that we don't, and it's kind of trippy. Don't believe me? Read this paragraph for me right here. Why are bunker sales increasing 2,000%? Again, why are bunker sales increasing 2,000%? Do you know how much of an increase that is in business for these bunker owners?
Neighborhood. All you want to do is move on up, right? Not realizing that the whole entire world is fighting over what God promised to you because you're the Israelites. That's right. You so-called blacks and Hispanics, you are the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. There's a book, the most important book in the world. Hold this up for me. Show them the cover. This is the most important book in the world. I don't think anybody would argue that. More people accept it and read it than any other book in this whole earth, right? It's all about you. This whole book is about you, your people. It's your heritage. That heritage that you ain't had all this time, give me Deuteronomy 30:24. That heritage that you've been disconnected from, and you wonder, well, where did my people come from? I know we was in slavery, but what in the hell were we then? And everybody's answer always is Africa. But Africa big as hell. Africa been around a long time. Because not an answer for your to replace history, right? You got to get specific. So let's get specific. Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy 33:4. Moses commanded us the law, even the inheritance of the congregation of Jacob.
Right, the laws of God, that's our inheritance, that's our heritage. So this Bible, this book that's the most popular and important book across the whole world, this is your heritage. This is your inheritance. This is your culture. This is your history. This is the missing link. It covers about over 1,000 years of our history, right, as the Israelites. And then it gives us prophecy to cover the part that didn't happen by the time it was done getting written. It said, don't worry, I'm going to give you the prophecies that's going to tell you what the rest of this time looked like. How great of a God do we serve? All praise Yahweh, right? We have to understand that you so-called blacks and Hispanics, man, it ain't getting ready to get no better. I know it seemed like it's getting better. It ain't getting ready to get no better unless we come back to these laws, statutes, commandments, right?
Black Israelites have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, so there is hardly a nation on the globe where Israelites do not make up some percentage of the society. This happened because the Hebrews broke the laws of God and cannot therefore exist as a unified sovereign nation in the land of Israel at the present time. Wherever black Hebrews have settled, they will serve strange gods. However, the forefathers of ancient Israel were unfamiliar with these gods and religions such as Islam, Buddhism, Krishna, Christianity, New Ageism, and so forth, since most of these came into existence after the expulsion of Israel from their ancestral homeland. Again, this situation could not possibly pertain to those who call themselves Jews, since the majority of them are atheists and do not believe in God. The Harris poll, number 59, from October 15, 2003. Protestants, 90%, are more likely than Roman Catholics, 79%.
Some call it a gift and a curse, but I'd rather say that we the salt of the earth. If fruit has been birthed, my mind's eye just open the purse to reveal the skin, truth and the word. Imagine them telling you ain't nothing since birth. Born with 2 strikes and they steady pitching the third. I humbled the earth to grab the board and busted the world. Cause the skin that I'm in has seen hell on this earth. From your Jim Crow laws to with the lynch and the spurn. Generations of a seed, now it's the basis we learn. Now we gotta relearn, tell her ring the alarm. Cause the skin that I'm in have been blessed by far.
The skin that I'm in, yes it speaks what's up. Cause the skin that I'm in was the first you see, bro. So let the window in, boy, skin cost us death. How about you step on in and see this pain that I felt? The skin that I'm in, yes it speaks for itself. Cause the skin that I'm in was the first you see, bro. So let the window in, boy, skin cost us death. How about you step on in and see this pain that I felt?
For the skin that I'm in, yes, my album gave life. It was cursed on your back when the seeds became white. So tell the whole truth, and that you can be free like me. You see, they just can't tell me anything. So read the good book, let the pages unfold. In the flesh, black as cold, riding down to the Damascus road. For the skin that I'm in, I tell the story untold. Doing surgery through the nose while you standing in that cold. So look me in my eyes, Gentile in my line. These niggas gon' nuts, your third eye open wide. You got darn right for the lies you got to pay. What's done in the darkest brought the light on doomsday.
The skin that I'm in, yes it speaks what's up. Cause the skin that I'm in was the first you see, bro. So let the window in, boy, skin cost us death. How about you step on in and see this pain that I felt? The skin that I'm in, yes it speaks for itself. Cause the skin that I'm in was the first you see, bro. So let the window in, boy, skin cost us death. How about you step on in and see this pain that I felt?
That skin that I'm in, Yahshua hung from that tree, just to save his people, same color as you and me. That skin that I'm in, the Torah's my life, my instructions for living, you wanna do right. That skin that I'm in, I'm hated cause my melanin, the darkest of the hue, that's why they call us human. We made in his image, that's why I sit and grin. First to receive that breath, so go on and bring that wind. That skin that I'm in, some black folks pretend. They be acting bougie, Uncle Tom my friend. That skin that you in is the diamond in his crown. You gon' see his skin when my album touchdown. 6 points.
What's up? His skin that I'm in was the first you see, bro. So let the window in, for his skin cost us death. How about you step on in and see this pain that I felt? His skin that I'm in, yes, it speaks for itself. His skin that I'm in was the first you see, bro. So let the window in, for his skin cost us death. La 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 la. I see the real Jews woke up. Hope that y'all have fun trying to be like us, yeah. Hebrew Israelites stand up. Hey, hey, we standing up. Hey, hey. I see the real Jews woke up. Hope that y'all have fun trying to be like us, yeah. Hebrew Israelites stand up. Hey, hey, we standing up. Hey, hey, yeah. That's right, gotta get the facts right. I hire the doctor, prescription to act right. The lie, we slaves. Why slaves don't fight? Deception, we black. Cause that's opposite like they be like. Lie after lie, made from long enough. Change the name and color of Christ as if they wasn't wrong enough. Tried to keep us sleep with dope, but it isn't strong enough. Tried to feed us monkey stuff, but they ain't King Kong enough. Got that Here comes Super God, all for us. Give me some of that Tobit spray to keep the demons off of us. Let me get that red pill. Thank you, Mr. Morpheus. From a slave to a king, what a metamorphosis. Voila, matter of fact, Salakia, Abba, the water. Thank you, Father, for the bread and water. And milk, I stress, rested in peace, now we above the rest, I'm blessed.
I see the real Jews woke up. Hope that y'all have fun trying to be like us, yeah. Hebrew Israelites stand up. Hey, hey, we standing up. Hey, hey, I see the real Jews woke up. Hope that y'all have fun trying to be like us, yeah. Hebrew Israelites stand up. Hey, hey, we standing up. Hey, hey.
The most high mad cause the word ain't got no truth today. I'm just trying to enlighten you on what the scriptures say. My kinfolk think I'm cray-cray in a cultist way, cause I wanna do exactly what the Bible say. I'm just trying to stand up, and if you ain't, then hey, I ain't tripping. Do your thing, but don't bring that this way. Cause demons, they linger around trying to attach to prey. That's why I pray every day to keep Satan away. We been lied to as Negroes, we still some slaves. Just read Baruch 3 and 8, we still captives today. They done took off the chain, but got our mind a slave. For the almighty dollar, we kill, steal, and swallow. We tear down each other and hate to see another one higher than another. Willie Lynch had a plan to keep us under the sand. I'm thankful that the Most High woke us out of the trance. He woke us up to stand.
I see the real Jews woke up. Hope that y'all have fun trying to be like us, yeah. Hebrew Israelites stand up. Hey, hey, we standing up. Hey, hey, I see the real Jews woke up. Hope that y'all have fun trying to be like us, yeah. Hebrew Israelites stand up. Hey, hey, we're standing up. Hey, hey, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Haitians, Jamaicans, we gotta stand as a nation. We gotta stand as a nation. Hebrew Israelites stand up. Hey, hey, stand up. Hey, hey, Panamania, Colombia, Brazil, this is so surreal. Argentina for real. Hebrew Israelites stand up. Hey, hey, stand up. Hey, hey. Dominican, Mexicans, Hawaiian, Samoans, Seminole Indians, West Indians. Why don't y'all stand up? Hey, hey, so stand up. Hey, hey. North American Indians and African Americans. Hebrew Israelites stand up. Hey, hey.